The ever-elusive Wenger Tahara. Ah, ever-elusive for me anyway. I've been trying to get a hold of one of those and been failing miserably. But yeah, those are kind of the sports and officers model equivalent that Wenger put out in like the 30s and 40s. The Wenger Taharas and then some of the all sports. And they don't, you hardly ever see them. And I really have been wanting to try to get more vintage Wenger knives. And so I had a couple of chances. There was a lady selling, well, there was a lady with a antique store. Just a ton of stuff, you know, just stuff to me. But there was this one knife, a Wenger Tahara, and it was the brown fiber scale one without the shield depicted in the first two pictures you just saw there. And she really didn't have any idea of what it was worth. And you know, usually when people don't have an idea of what something's worth, they've got it priced way too low. But in this case, she had it priced way too high. So I made her what I thought was a pretty good offer based on the condition of the knife, and she flatly turned me down. She said she was going to take it to a knife guy and have it appraised. And I said, well, I'm a knife guy, and if this other knife guy's willing to buy it for more than that, you need to jump on it. Anyway, I'm kind of glad she didn't sell it to me, because I think had she, I would have been overpaying for it. It would have been a mistake. And, you know, that's often how things are in life. What you want isn't always what you need. So that might have kept me out of trouble. But then another one came up on eBay recently. A guy from France was selling one. And it had like 2 days, I'm sorry, it had like 2 hours to go. And there were only 2 bidders on it. And it was only $10 and something. And it was one of the kind with the shield, with the crossbow on it, says Swiss, you know, like in the second two in the pictures that I put up front. And I thought, oh my God, you know, people have missed this. Maybe it's because it's in French, maybe because it's being priced in euros, maybe because the title's, you know, bad. But for some reason, you know, I might be able to get this one. So I got my little maximum bid all worked up, and I was all excited. And in the last 2 hours, people just started coming out of the woodwork, and they quickly ran that knife up way more than my maximum bid, and I never even got a chance to put in a bid. So that's why I kind of changed my intro music. It's just kind of a downer. So I was really excited to maybe put something like that on my channel. But I do have a Wenger, and it's not as rare, of course, but it's kind of interesting. I think in the last video I mentioned that when I was at the Blade Show on the way out, I saw a little Victorinox Spartan with a bail and picked that up. Guy gave me a great price on it. And he also threw in another knife. He just said, here. And I was like, wow, thanks. And I didn't think much of it because I just thought it was a very, very common knife. It was this little Wenger. It, to me, looked like a classic. You know, I guess that's their Esquire. So I brought it home and just stuck it in a drawer. I got it out the other day. I said, let me just see what this is exactly and clean it up a little bit. And so the first thing I did is I measured it. And I thought it was going to be 65 millimeters because that's what all the Wenger Esquires are. But it's not. It's 75 millimeters. And so I got on Swiss Army Knife Wiki, which I've just discussed in an earlier video. It's a good place to go to try to identify models. But it's not such a good place to go to get information on really vintage knives. And that's really, you know, one of the reasons I started this channel. There's just kind of a lack of information out there. I thought I might be able to add a little to the mix. But this is actually, according to Swiss Army Knife Wiki, and of course I've checked it out with a lot of other sources. This is a Wenger VIP. And it's kind of an odd shape. It's the only standard Wenger model ever made in 75 millimeter. Now, they made some commemorative versions and some other special things, limited runs and stuff in 75 millimeter. But this was their only standard model in 75 millimeter. And they started it in 1976. I don't know when they ended it. They probably, you know, didn't end it until Victorinox ended it. You know, Wenger, just a word about Wenger, bought by Victorinox in 2005. I think most people know that. Wenger never really recovered from the financial shock after 9/11. And what happened was apparently is that these Victorinox Wenger, they sold a lot of knives duty free in airport duty free shops all around the world, and you couldn't buy knives and carry them on planes anymore. So that killed their sales. I know Victorinox said their sales dropped 20% immediately. And so I don't know, Wenger really never recovered from that. So Victorinox bought them in 2005, and they kept the Victorinox name and all the knives and the production facilities and all the employees in Delamont, Switzerland. But in 2013, so not that long ago, they absorbed the brand. They're all just Victorinox now, and some of the Wenger knives are just called the Delamont collection. Delamont being the town in Switzerland in that French-speaking part of Switzerland where Wenger was headquartered and where they still make these knives. So your knives like the Ranger Grip series, the 130 millimeter knives, your Evolution, your Evos, the 85 millimeter knives. Those are all Wenger designs, and they just now put on the Victorinox can opener because it's superior, and they put the Victorinox reamer on those knives too because it's superior, and Victorinox scissors and things like that. But so anyway, this is an odd size discontinued model, and it's in great shape. It's real clean, sharp, problem free. I'm thinking about changing the name of my shop to Clean, Sharp, and Problem Free because I don't sell crap. And all my knives are going to come to you that way. But anyway, I am. This one's going to be on eBay. It's on eBay right now, as a matter of fact, and I'm auctioning it because I really don't know what it's worth. But I started the auction at about what you'd pay for a medium-sized one-topping pizza. So if you want to go take a look at that, hopefully bid on it. Go. The only way I know to tell you to find me on eBay is go to eBay, do a search, do an advanced search. It's one of the functions there. For my user ID, which is Hobieon, H-O-B-I-E-O-N, all in lowercase, Hobieon, and you'll see my knives for sale. But yeah, this is kind of neat. It's the Wenger Delamont, and it's got these Wenger-esque scissors, of course, with the spring bar. It really works until you're all the way open. There it goes. And I don't know if you can see this on this camera, on this low definition upload, but Wenger always had serrated scissors. It's supposed to be self-sharpening serrated scissors, so I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's a knife that I picked up also at the Blade Show. I thought it was just kind of a little throwaway, and when I looked into it, it's actually got a little interesting history and is apparently getting a little harder to find in that condition. So that was propitious and made me feel a little better today. I also sold a knife today. I would show you the other knife that I got at the Blade Show, but it's already gone to a new happy home. And my new in-the-box Spartan from the 80s is also gone today. Okay, well, I hope you've enjoyed that little discussion about Wenger and Wenger Tahara. If you see a Wenger Tahara floating along out there somewhere, let me know. If you got one to sell, let me know. Tahara, it's a trademark that Wenger started using in 1910, from what I've read, and the name was picked by the guy's wife. Can't remember his name, but Tahara was a Buddhist goddess. Very weird. All right, thanks for watching. Have fun collecting.